I don't know what this means, man. Maybe you're just happy to see me. And right where the clam is, which is like my main concern right now, is only... Hey, what's up, Reefers? Don't mess with us. We're a family of Sayas. While he's occupied over there in his playmats, I'm gonna do a little coral fragging over here. I'm simply removing the black sun coral and I'll be placing them onto the NPS island so that they're easier to feed. I can feed all the NPS corals in one shot. I bought this tank top for like 3 years as a joke. I guess right now I can cosplay with my son before he can object to this. Sorry, buddy. You may see this in a couple years and be like, Dad, what are you doing? All right, usually popping these corals off is pretty straightforward. It's a straight pop and go. Let me see if I can use a bone cutter to try to like carve up the big, oh, there we go. You can kind of see like with the algae growth and stuff like that, you know that these frags have been healed for a while. And it's kind of interesting to see the inside structure of sun coral as well. Look at this, how intricate is that, huh? And the tissue actually runs pretty deep in the middle. Let's go ahead and get this glued as well. Good to go. Let's get them back in the water.
The next day.
This is a tool I've heard a lot about, have never tried it, have never seen it in person actually. This is the Majano one. I bought this from Premium Aquatics.
You bought this?
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
$430. I've tried peppermint shrimp, I've tried filefish, I've tried Aiptasia-x. Out of all of those, I think Aiptasia-x kind of worked the best for me, but the Aiptasia always comes back. This tool is kind of funky. You run electricity through this whole thing, and electricity is gonna come from this tip right here. This tip is not really sharp.
Looks sharp. No,
yeah, it's
stop.
It's plugged in. Well, if I don't push this button, it's okay. When you push this button, that's when it charges it. So it's okay. Hey!
Stop!
Yeah, push it. Stop. You don't hear anything until it's in the water. All right, so the concept is this. You're not trying to electrocute the Aiptasias. That's not the point. What this does is that this electricity converts the cells into hydrogen gas and oxygen gas. Basically, the whole cell is just gonna combust. The whole thing is just gonna disintegrate. It's insane. So let's try it out. It kind of comes in 3-point contact. You plug it in, obviously, right there. And then you have a really simple switch. You push it in, it's engaged.
Your pink underwear.
Because this is going to damage corals as well, I want to make absolutely sure that I'm not touching corals too.
It's sharp.
Crazy, right?
Sharp like one touch, you will become Sleeping Beauty.
Here we go. So you see the bubble coming out. Again, it's not expelling gas. It's just the interaction between the electricity and the salt water. So here we go.
Oh shoot!
So it ducked behind the zoas. Let me just kind of move it a little bit. I can't really see. So here's where I appreciate the fact that it's kind of like a needle. I don't think I touched them a little bit, so I probably heard it. But let me just kind of go in there and just kind of.
Then you destroy other.
No, there's nothing. There's nothing back there. Here's probably a good time to say that according to instruction, I'm not supposed to kind of like constantly push it. Because it is kind of creating gas, right, from the interaction within the salt water. So I think based on the water volume, there's a certain time limit.
You will destroy other corals. Oops.
See, oh, here we go. See how it's turning gooey? It's like all white. Yeah, this one is done. Look at that. And looks like I didn't really hit the zoas, so that's good. All right, so it goes pretty deep. I'm gonna zap it.
Oh.
Well, I didn't push a button yet. So I'm gonna go in a little bit. Okay, so hopefully that's that. Obviously this is the first time using it, so it's kind of goofy. But the instruction said that like once I do it well, you'll tell because the goo actually comes out. And ideally you want to net them and get them out of the tank. Now this one, I think it kind of retreated back there and I don't see it. I'm guessing maybe it got hurt. I don't think I really got all the tissues out. But that's also the limitation of this tool as well. You can only hit the Aiptasia that you can actually see and get to. Okay, now we're gonna do a little teamwork. It's kind of goofy. I'm filming and holding the needle, the business end, and Emily is holding the real business end and light. So let's see, there's Aiptasias right here. I knew I saved them for a reason. Hit it, hit it. Hit it some more, keep going, just press it. There we go. All right, so that's all right guys, so here it is. Obviously it worked, it took a little bit, but it kind of turned into white goo.
1 week later.
Guys, today's been an awesome day because a piece of art that I commissioned from 212 of Rye. He is the famous or infamous person that does all the dickfish. And I've seen that he does some of these marine series. So I commissioned a piece of art and I said that, hey man, I need a blue tang and pair of clownfish. And he said, no problem. You can tell already, these are dickfish and they are absolutely appropriate for my Inappropriate channel. So once again, thank you to Juan for the excellent work. All right, so really quick video about lighting. I have 3 Radeon XL15 Gen 5 Pros on here. Sorry, it's like a toy going off right there. Leon's having fun. The light currently is running AB+. I have the point intensity set to 40%. And I further cut it down to 55% of the schedule. I won't figure out go really slow just in case. I don't want to bleach any corals or clams. Today we're actually going to go in and take a closer look at the power value with the Aiptasia MQ510. Typically being an Inappropriate Reefer, I just use my eye and eyeball it. But there's one thing I learned is that eyes could be deceiving. So where the Gorgonian is about 90, and right where the clam is, which is like my main concern right now, it's only about 58 par, so that's pretty low. And the Zoa Garden, let's see. And one reason I want to do this is because the Zoa is still reaching a little bit after acclimation. I'm getting 65 par, so I can safely crank this up. I can crank it up more. So right around the dragon head, or highest point of the rock work, right under the light is going to be about 90 par. Base Invader is getting roughly 50 par. So I guess we can safely crank up the light a little bit. I'm going to use acclimation mode again so that it does not burn any corals, and we'll slowly work our way up to, I want to hit at least like 100, so double this amount. I want to hit 100 around sandbed, and on rockwork I would love to hit like 150 or so. I think that would be good for mixed breed. So let's dial that in.
1 week later.
Okay, the clam is doing something really strange. See how large the mouth is gaping? Some initial search online saying that this is normal, but dude, this looks scary. But you can also see right inside the clam. Look at this. All right, so I'm gonna try not to do any knee-jerk reaction stuff. We're gonna give him a day to kind of settle in and see what's going on. Just curious. Let me run my hand over the light and see if it reacts. Oh, yep, still reacting, so that's good. I don't know what this means, man. Maybe you're just happy to see me. We're gonna leave him alone and then we'll come back. That's not good? That's not good?
Happy to see you.
Alright, well, we're gonna leave it alone and we'll come back tonight. Guys, so it has been a little bit over a week since I've zapped the Aiptasias. Unfortunately, 2 of them came back. Namely, one of this is this one. I kind of suspected this one's gonna come back since I could not get it. Interesting thing is that it moved from up here all the way down here, but it took about a week for it to reemerge. And over there on that big piece of rock, there should be 2 pretty big size Aiptasia. It looks like I may have gotten 1 because only 1 came back. And I suspected the one that I zapped away from the swamp did not come back. This kind of illustrated the intrinsic problem of Aiptasia control through like a direct means like this one, Aiptasia-x, or injecting kalkwasers or like boiling water. Basically, you can only hit the ones that you can actually seize and reach. And as soon as they retract, it's pretty much all you can do. Another method that I've not tried is using super glue to glue the Aiptasia's mouth shut. That seems to be effective as well. That fundamental issue aside, one thing I can say about the Majano one is that it is really rewarding to just like go in and just zap the Aiptasias. And also it's really quick and easy. So seeing that this guy pops back up after 1 week and that guy as well, it doesn't bother me too much because like I can really easily just plug it back in and then just zap them one more time. And I guess I'm gonna keep doing this until I eventually get them all. But to make my life a little bit easier and to make this solution a little bit more permanent, I will be adding 1 or 2 peppermint shrimp. And they're known to predate on Aiptasia. Maybe not the large one, but definitely the small one, and especially the damaged one. And that's kind of where I'm betting my money at. I'll damage them first with the Majano one, and the peppermint shrimp can kind of finish off all the injured Aiptasia. So the Majano one is $130. If you ask me whether I would recommend it or if I would buy it again, probably not, because I feel like Aiptasia-x do similar things, or injured Aiptasia not necessarily take it out. Unless I have a really deep or wide tank that I cannot easily reach in with my hand, then there will be a case for Majano one. However, another thing that I did not touch on at all in this video is actually Majano control. I have not seen a Majano in a long time, but the wine is actually targeted for Majano. Aiptasia is kind of like a secondary thing. So maybe the wine actually works a lot better with Majano anemone. There's no way for me to test. If you know and if you tried it, please leave it in comments below. Another really interesting thing about the Majano wine is that some people actually use it to control zoas and zinnias. Well, Okay, so I did this for a little bit, but it looks like what it did is kind of just like scar the Xenia tissue on the outside. I tried poking it. I do see some gooey substance on the tip of the needle, but nothing quite like dealing with Aiptasia, where the whole thing just turned to goo. So I think like maybe if I do it enough, it could work. But honestly, it just takes too long. I would rather just you go in with a razor blade or just kind of rip the Xenia out. I don't really see the wine working with Xenia, but maybe I just need to try a little bit more. So if you guys have also tried the Majano vine with against like Xenias and Zoas, please leave a comment and let me know what your experience has been. I don't really have any Zoas I want to kill, so I'm not going to use it on Zoa, but on Xenia does not seem effective, at least on a cluster like this. But I may try it again in the future. But for now, I got some Aiptasia to zap. See how I just turned to white goo right away? But the problem is also the tissue that I cannot get to. And again, that is the intrinsic problem. Alright guys, so here are the two macroalgae that I picked up from MPS Reefer.